Got kind of a Mother's Day message this morning, and so we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 31, if you want to head that way. And as we start into this scripture, this scripture kind of talks about a woman of what I would call noble character, and it starts out with an advice from Mom. And you know, that's the thing about mothers is the advice that they have given you through your lifetime. And you know, if you're like me, half the time you didn't pay attention, but you know, you're glad to have that. And when you get older, you kind of realize that, hey, guess what? Mom was right about all this stuff that she was trying to tell me. If I would have listened. And we start out this scripture with some advice from Mom that was given here to King Lemuel, and I really feel like this was something that he was taught by his mother. And you know, oftentimes the thing that the lessons that your mom, you know, the messages that she told to you over and over and over again. And it was kind of a teaching thing, you know. And they say if you want to teach somebody something, you tell them at least 3 times. And I can say that a lot of times my mom would try to tell me things, and I can guarantee you she told me more than 3 times at least. so this is scripture, and when you read down through here, you can just imagine his mom telling him this lesson. It says, "This is the saying of King Lemuel, an inspired utterance his mother taught him. Listen, my son, listen, the son of my womb. Listen, my son, and the answer to my prayers. Do not spend your strength on women, your vigor on those who would ruin kings. It is not for kings, Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, not for rulers to crave beer, lest they drink and forget what they have decreed, and deprive all the oppressed of their rights. Let beer be for those who are perishing, wine for those who are in anguish, and let them drink and forget their poverty, and remember their misery no more. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy." When you read down through this sounds just exactly like the advice probably almost every mother has given to their child. And it's funny because, you know, this was thousands of years ago, and yet we still get the same message today. And advice from Mom. In the rest of the scripture, we talk about a woman of noble character. And when you think of a woman of noble character, so many times Mom fits that definition. So we're going to continue on and read about this godly woman, this woman of noble character. I'm just going to go through this chapter, and we're going to read some. I'm just going to kind of point out some things here, just go over kind of what the scripture says. Verse 10 says, "A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life." When I read this, I realize here a woman of noble character is extremely valuable. More valuable than rubies. Of course, you know, it's hard to put a value on something that is so valuable. She is trusted. And she is trusted because she consistently does good. It says that she does good all the days of her life. Verse 13. She selects wool and flax, and she works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for the tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. A woman of noble character works hard. She gets up before dawn. She is business-minded. She makes profitable decisions. She provides for her family and her employees. She works hard and long, and her work is never done. Verse 20. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. A woman of noble character is generous. Verse 21. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for their beds. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. The members of her family are taken care of. They do not fear the cold because they have warm clothes and a warm bed. Now, if this doesn't sound like a mother, I don't know what else does. Verse 23. Her husband is respected in the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. The man who finds a woman of noble character excels in all he does and is respected by others. It is said that behind every good man is a good woman. And this scripture talks about that. Verse 24. She makes linen garments and sells them and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. A noble woman is good in business. The way she dresses says that she is strong and dignified. She is a saver, and she provides security in the days ahead. Those rainy days she prepares for. Times of uncertainty, times of leanness she has stored up. Verse 26. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. A woman of noble character is a teacher. She gives instruction with wisdom and consistency. Verse 27. She watches over the affairs of her household, does not eat the bread of idleness. A woman of noble character has her eyes open and knows what is going on in the lives around her. This week, Beth came home from school and she went to bed. And Kim said, "Where's Beth at?" I said, "Well, she's in bed." She's like, "Does she normally come home and go to bed?" I said, "No." "Okay, you need to find out what's going on." I just thought she's tired. She went to bed. If I'm tired, I just go to bed. No, it's not normal. Something's going on. You got to find out. Got her eyes open. See? A woman of normal character has her eyes open. Most of us men, we just, we're oblivious to things. She is busy with things that are important and does not waste her time on the things that are not. Verse 28. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. A noble woman is loved by her family. Verse 29. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. A noble woman goes beyond the normal, or what is expected. Verse 30. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and then let her works bring her praise in the city gates. This is why we have Mother's Day. This is why we have a time set apart where we can honor godly women. And the thing about godly woman is that it does not diminish with age or beauty. An honorable woman receives honor all of her life. So this morning, as we have a song of invitation, this chapter, one of my favorite chapters of Scripture, and I think every young woman should read this chapter and realize that this is what the Bible spells out. This is what you're called to be. This is what you're called to do. These are many things that make you a noble and godly person. And when I look out to the world today and I look at the message that the world is trying to tell our young women, it is far from this message. But this is what God says, and that's what I'm thankful for, is that we have women and mothers in our lives that are just like this chapter as we sing this morning.